Why does Donald Trump hate America? The answer is clear, because he does not see it as a country to serve, but as a tool for his own gain. Every action he takes puts his interests above the people, and the consequences have been disastrous. But do not just take my word for it. There are 5 undeniable reasons that prove he has worked against America rather than for it. From siding with foreign adversaries to tearing down democracy, each one paints a clear picture of a leader who never had the country's best interests at heart. Let's break them down one by one. He sides with America's enemies. Trump had a choice: strengthen America's historic alliances with countries like France, Germany, and Japan, or turn toward leaders who do not exactly have the United States' best interests at heart. He chose the second option. Take Russia, for example. While past presidents pushed back against its influence, Trump went out of his way to praise its leader, even when reports surfaced about Russian interference in U.S. elections. He dismissed them. He trusted foreign leaders over American intelligence agencies. Then there is North Korea. Decades of diplomacy focused on limiting its military threats, but Trump gave its leader a global platform. He even called their relationship a great friendship. What did the United States get in return? Nothing changed. North Korea kept advancing its weapons programs, and Belarus. The U.S. has historically supported democratic movements, but Trump openly admired leaders who ruled with an iron grip. When democracy was challenged in Belarus, Trump barely said a word. What did he gain from all this? It was never about making America stronger. It was about power, appearances, and his personal image. While past leaders focused on alliances that helped the U.S. economy, security, and global standing, Trump went for photo ops and empty promises. It raises a question. If someone keeps siding with people who work against America, can they really claim to support it? He undermines democracy. Trump did not just question the system, he tried to break it. When the results of the election did not go his way, he did not accept them. Instead, he pushed claims that had no evidence, hoping that if he repeated them enough times, people would believe him. He did not act like a leader who values democracy. He acted like someone who sees elections as something to manipulate rather than respect. And it was not just talk. He pressured officials to change numbers, pushed lawsuits that went nowhere, and encouraged his followers to distrust the very system that elected him in the first place. When courts rejected his arguments, he attacked the judges. When states certified the results, he turned on his own allies. But this was never just about one election. From day one, he worked to weaken faith in the press, the legal system, and the institutions designed to keep leaders in check. If a journalist exposed something he did, he called them fake. If a judge ruled against him, he said they were biased. If Congress investigated him, he said they were corrupt. The message was clear. Trust only him, everything else. A strong democracy depends on trust. If people believe elections do not count, the law does not matter, and the truth is whatever a leader says it is, then democracy falls apart. And Trump, he spent years making sure that trust was shattered. He wrecks the economy for personal revenge. Trump did not run the economy like a president. He ran it like a personal business where loyalty mattered more than logic and revenge was always on the table. Look at the tariffs. They were not about helping American workers. They were about punishing countries he did not like. The result: farmers lost markets, businesses paid higher prices, and consumers felt it in their wallets. Even his own party warned him. But he did not care. It was not about strategy. It was about proving a point. Then came the tax cuts. Not for middle-class workers, not for struggling families, but for the wealthiest corporations and individuals. The national debt skyrocketed while big companies got richer. Wages barely moved, but stock buybacks hit record highs. He said it would trickle down. It never did. And then there was spending, reckless, unpredictable, and completely detached from long-term planning. He threw money at projects that made headlines but ignored the ones that actually mattered. Infrastructure remained broken. Deficits exploded. The people left cleaning up the mess. Future generations. Every move was about control. If a company spoke against him, he attacked them. If an industry did not support him, he ignored them. If an ollie questioned his policies, he threatened them. The economy was never his priority. His image was, America was not a country to build. It was a scoreboard to settle. And the damage he left behind, it is still piling up. He tried to erase his own medical records. Trump has always been obsessed with controlling his image, the way he talks, the way he presents himself, even the way he styles his hair. But in 2017, He took things to another level. His longtime doctor, Harold Bornstein, revealed that Trump's personal bodyguard, along with two others, entered his office and took his medical records. Not requested, not asked. Took. Bornstein later said he felt completely powerless. Now, think about that. A sitting president his people to retrieve personal health documents. If it was something routine, why not just request copies? Why send a team to physically remove them? Here is where things get interesting. Bornstein had previously claimed that Trump dictated his own health letter, the one that said he would be the healthiest president ever. The doctor just typed what he was told. That already raises questions, but it gets worse. After his records were taken, Bornstein was suddenly out, no longer Trump's doctor. No more public statements. And the records, never seen again. This is not normal. Presidents have medical exams all the time. Their results are shared with the public. But with Trump, everything had to be controlled. Everything had to be hidden. The real question is simple. What was in those records that made them so dangerous? Whatever the answer is, one thing is clear. He did not want the world to know. He does not even respect American values. America stands for freedom, justice, and democracy. At least that is what it is supposed to stand for. Trump saw those values not as principles to uphold, but as obstacles to get around. Freedom of the press. He called journalists the enemy of the people. If a news outlet reported something he did not like, he attacked them. If a reporter asked a tough question, he insulted them. The goal was clear. Discredit the press so that the only voice people trusted was own, the rule of law. That was just something for other people to follow. When investigations got too close, he used his power to protect himself and his allies. Pardons were handed out like favors. If you were loyal to him, you were safe. If you were not, you were a target. And patriotism, that word lost all meaning in his hands. He mocked veterans, questioned the sacrifices of war heroes, and made light of the people who served their country. He did not see military service as something to respect. He saw it as something to use for political points. If America was a person, Trump would be its worst critic. Not because he wanted to make the country better, but because he never really believed in what it stood for. The flag, the Constitution, the institutions, none of it mattered to him unless it helped him. And when it did not, he had no problem tearing it all down. At the end of the day, Trump doesn't hate America in the way an enemy does. He hates it like a selfish heir who resents their own inheritance. He sees the country as something to exploit, not something to protect. And if history has taught us anything, it's that when leaders prioritize themselves over the nation, the people always pay the price. Thanks for watching, and let me know your thoughts in the comments.